Confidence is returning to the property market. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. I've got my morning stein of coffee and I thought we should have a look at this article from realestate.com.au because frankly it seems to be conflicting with other things we're reading and seeing out and about. You know, it's funny, isn't it, how we seem to get a mishmash of articles and reports from real estate. Some telling us one thing and then another thing, and often on the same day. It's almost like there's a narrative trying to be pushed forward. I wonder, maybe I'm just drinking too much morning steins of coffee, everyone. Or maybe I need to start adding a bit of Bundy rum to my morning coffees. And I can do that because, well, I walk to my office. I'm kidding. I'm too old for that now. So let's have a look at this. First home banks buyers lead the way as confidence returns. Me Bank. That's what this says here. I know you can't see it. This is an article from the Herald Sun written by Jack Bronovoski. Now, Me Bank, you might remember them from a few videos that we did just recently. You know, literally a few days ago, the chief executive of Me Bank has resigned. The CEO resigned over the bail-in fiasco that happened in May this year, where essentially they changed the conditions on people's loans, you know, depending on their LVR, and they'd overpaid their loans, so they had a redraw. You know, essentially, you know, the redraws are when the banks, your good buddy friends, the banks, oh, you've paid extra, you can borrow it again. Don't worry, just don't worry about that paperwork. Just borrow more money. You know, you get that every time if you've paid off extra on your mortgage. Every time you talk to the bank, they try and encourage you to borrow more. You can refinance or, you know, spend it on a holiday or spend it on this or that. And I wonder why some people fall for these traps, really. You know, it's all about, they're not your friends. They're there to make money. Even the me banks, even the banks owned by the super funds. So let's have a look at this as buyers' confidence returns because, well, consumer confidence shot up and is back down again. Back down again. Unemployment, and we'll look at this in greater detail in other videos, it's, well, climbed up once again. So is confidence really returning, or are we seeing the stimulus that the government is pumping into this sector start to manifest? Is that what we're seeing? You know, if the government is throwing free money at people, you know, at first home buyers, are they jumping in? Or is it that combined with the fact that they've raided their super, that for the first time they actually can see getting a deposit together and buying as something feasible? Could that be what we're seeing? I wonder what they'll talk about here. Or are people just more confident that everything's going well? You know, that Australia, the economy is going to rebound really quick and really solid. Or are they confident? And this is another thing which I think will happen, that the government will throw the kitchen sink and everything they can to sustain property in Australia. We need to do everything to keep our property prices, our property prices at a reasonable level. You know, people should only, borrowing 9 times your gross income is normal, even though the banks are dropping down to 8. So, and you know, this is a good time to list. We're hearing more and more people about, more and more articles encouraging people to sell, to jump out there and sell. Which, you know, someone asked me if I'm going to sell. I mean, we're here for a long term. I bought a project, guys. We bought a fixer-upper. Needs a lot of work. Like, a lot of work. It's embarrassing, actually. But, you know, architects and builders, you always tend to live in projects. That tends to be the way it is. I still remember as a child, my father, you know, going to build me a cubby house. And other kids would have little cubby houses, little store-bought ones. My father, you know, built like a 4.5 or 5 meter by 5 meter room. He had huge pine posts, and I remember getting the posts, you know, driving with my dad and his drafty to the yard and getting the posts, putting them in, you know, and for about 2 years I was just playing on a floor, on a timber floor that was raised up. And every time one of his tradies needed a bit of work, he'd say, "Oh, you do a bit of work on this, do this on that, on the little cubby house." And this is a pretty big garden shed for new people living there. But yeah, I still remember playing in winter on my floor, my cubby house floor in the Victorian winter. You know, there you go. That's childhood right there. I guess considering my kids are playing outside in the tree house that doesn't exist, it's probably the same. So, confidence is returning to the Victorian property market, with first home buyers leading the charge. This is a finding of MeBank's latest property sentiment report, which reveals 1 in 4 metropolitan Melbourne home owners believe their property will increase in price within a year. So 25% of Melburnians, which has the strictest lockdowns in the country, think in a year's time their property will increase in price. Why should we consider that of any value? You've got people here that may not even remember the last recession. But, I guess that's it. That marked an increase from 1 in 5 owners in the bank's last survey released in April at the height of the city's first pandemic wave. There you go. At the same time, the proportion of Melbourne homeowners who believed their property would fall in value over the year dropped from 40% to 35%. The figures are still... See, this is the problem. This is useless. This data is utterly useless. They're looking at an entire city when you need to look at the suburb level. The price of your house is worth not what you paid for it, guys. It isn't worth what you paid for it. No one cares what you paid for it. Sure, you can brag to your mates and say, oh, look, I'm a property genius. I bought this place and now I'm up 30%, in a couple of years. That's BS, to be honest. There's no genius in that. It's just good timing. Good timing beyond your control. So, yeah. It's frustrating. It's frustrating when you're sitting there. I was looking at it, Rachel, going to look at how much we've made on a house in a year's time compared to just the stress, the pain in the ass of working, hiring people, taking on risks, insurances, running around. No wonder people love property so much in Australia. Everyone just jumps in, sits there and makes a fortune. Just keeps going up and up and up. Can it go forever? And are these surveys even relevant? If they're looking at a citywide level, it comes down to the survey. My own example, the house across the street, it's off the market. It didn't sell. And they wanted to get just what they bought it for 5 years ago or 3 years ago. They didn't get it. I know that because my neighbor next door who's moving in, they sold it to him. And he's thinking, yeah, we'll be lucky to get the land price for it. That's the street level, the suburb level, that's what's going to affect the price of your property. There. So, okay, if we take a big hit, it doesn't matter. We're going to be here for a long time. We like the location. We're close to the major cities and the arterial roads. It's convenient. And if I take a 30% hit, I'm going to sit here for a few years long enough so I don't worry about it. But if I was sitting on 5 investment properties in this suburb, which I'm not, I'm an architect, guys, I'm not a builder, or a teacher apparently, and then negative gearing all of them, and only paying the interest, and then suddenly have rent strike occur, or rents are dropping, which we're seeing, or using them for Airbnb and not getting any tenants, which we're seeing, or depending on foreign students, which are not arriving at the moment, which we're seeing, then maybe when my mortgage holiday disappears, that will have an impact. So what would be quite interesting to see would be looking at just the level of investment in different areas, the ratio of homeowners to home investors, and then seeing what the confidence is on a suburb level. That's why, actors like Martin North, who do their research on a smaller level, and other parties who do their research on a smaller level, are more concerned than this macro level stuff. Because, guys, here's a chart I'll show you. This is showing unit price growth in Sydney, and I love it because it shows the red rooster line. You got the red rooster line, the lower socioeconomic areas where the units are pretty much copy and paste all the same. They haven't grown as much value as the nice posh, goat cheese cafes along the water. So just keep that in mind. And it does come down to location, doesn't it? So back to this. The figures are still well down on what was published in the bank's January report before the pandemic impacted the market, when 2/3 of Melburnians predicted their property would notch annual price gains. Barry Plant Chief Executive Mike McCarthy said Melbourne market participants had overcome an initial wave of concerns after predicted massive price drops failed to materialize. Well, we're only starting to see the impact of this recession, everyone. We still have unemployment rate that's going up. We've got JobKeeper that's propping up a lot of zombie businesses. We have mortgage holidays. Mortgage holidays. Did they have mortgage holidays in the recession Australia had to have when we had 18% interest rates, all these insane things? Can someone who was old enough let me know? Because it did. From my childhood, didn't seem like it. Didn't seem like it. You know, because I grew up in Victoria, or at least until primary school. You know, we lived out in Coldstream before we moved up to Queensland. And I remember, you know, that recession because my father was in the construction game. You know, he was a builder and a draftsperson. Crashed, got real quiet. Because a lot of people in Victoria, they like to do their extensions. My mother had a mobile hair care business down there. She'd be driving around all around Victoria before GPS, looking on the old Refertex. Now that I think back, knowing her, I hope she doesn't watch this, knowing her skills with navigation, I think she did really well. Although there were some times she got lost. Fortunately, we had a car phone back then. And I think she rang up my father a few times in tears, not being able to find where she's going. Good on her, though. And she was doing very well with the money that she was raising, revenue she was earning in that business, which didn't do quite as well up here in Queensland. It's a different market. But the funny thing was, my father was saying, "Oh, you're not earning enough. You're not, she's pulling in what, 40 grand a year, I think, in her mobile hair care business back in the 80s. And he's saying, "You're not earning enough," because he was comparing it to his construction company. Good old dad. Yep, I'll raise a stein to you. These days, that would be called stretch goals. You know, it's a good management technique to get the most out of your team. You know, thumbs up if you're a fan of stretch goals. So, because the market has stayed balanced in terms of supply and demand, we've seen good results throughout the whole period. Melbourne home values shed 2.3% in the June quarter, according to property data firm CoreLogic. General Manager of Home Loans Andrew Bartolo, said the latest survey results reflected the robustness of property. And the fact is, this underlying affinity of property. Well, he's right. We love property. Australians are property obsessed. Property is where all our wealth is going. And I'm not surprised that all the stimulus measures that the government is pumping out, like more than ever, one way or another, is gonna mesh into property. And, I mean, one way or another, how many people are employed in property? If you look at construction, you look at sales, you look at finance. Guys, it's Australia. Problem is, if they can't keep people, if our population growth, our natural population growth isn't sufficient. And I'll bring up this chart here just to show everyone. You can see here, net overseas migration is one of the biggest now since 2015. It's become the biggest part of our population growth. And the issue is that's not going to keep going. People aren't going to, be traveling for the foreseeable future. It's going to be a bit of time before that returns. But with the survey conducted in June, he warned renewed lockdown restrictions could lead to another fall in confidence as the city struggled to shake off the virus. The survey, which polled 1,000 people nationally, also found 51% of budding first-home buyers intended to take the plunge in the next year, up from 42% 3 months ago. So you can see more first-home buyers are looking at taking the plunge in the next year, which, if you're going to do it, take your time. There's always going to be more property around. Don't worry. Don't worry. Trust me, I've been there. We put an offer on a place, and then we ended up pulling out because we weren't happy with the fact there was termites in there. Sure, we could have got it treated, and I'm really glad we didn't take it. We got this house, which is a little bit more expensive, but the land is easier for us to use. Lifting the house and building under is actually feasible here, and it's an older Queenslander, so you can modify it. You can hack it as you need to. Okay. Build another room there, cut that part in half, easy. More investors plan to jump into the market too, with 39% of respondents signaling their intention to buy in a year, up from 17%. Clearly, first home buyers and some investors are looking at the current situation as an opportunity to obtain value. Amy Lunardi, property advocate Amy Lunardi, said the massive jump in investor engagement was a sign of the market's resilience. Investors are the most fickle in the market, she said. People have now realized the property market is much more robust than everyone predicted, so investors' appetites are returning. Really? Or is it the fact that we've got mortgage holidays propping up the market? That's what I'm arguing, is until you get these mortgage holidays off, until people are forced to or required to make their contractually expected payments, then we can't really say that the market is resilient. We can say that, well, players who have a vested interest in the market will do everything they can to ensure its resilience. I think that would be a fairer statement. What do you think, guys? Do you think that's the right approach? Despite a return to stage 3 restrictions, she said all the buyers she was working with were continuing with their plans. Nothing has really changed for them, she said. Now they are prepared rather than last time, when we didn't know what this could mean. So this is the one thing too. We're as a nation and as a people, we're going to learn to live with this virus. We just will over time. The problem is that will also result in more people just not caring, but that's how life is sometimes. So what do you think, everyone? What do you think? Do you think confidence has returned? Or do you think it's too early to say? Too early to say that property is so robust? Or do people just understand that the government is going to chuck everything they can at property? Every stimulus measure, every intervention. What do you think? And if you're not in Melbourne or Sydney, there's another thing. We're still going to seem quite attractive. You could sell your $1 million house in Sydney for a 30% loss, then go to Adelaide or even Brisbane, live quite comfortably. And with a remote working world, that's another consideration. As always, please let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Kucoin. You can buy our merch from HeiseSays. You can use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Thanks, everyone. Take care. I'll see you next time.